Hey guys, and welcome back to Luigi's Mansion 2 for some Double Trouble shenanigans. I tried to say Treacherous Mansion shenanigans in the last take. Didn't really go through, so, well, it was more of a false start than a proper retake. I'm allowed these kind of things.
It's a retake, Tom, just accept it.
Oh no, I'll cut into the arm! Anyway, getting off this morbid subject and getting onto another one. The Toad we saw last time. He's still missing, still a portrait, so we're gonna have to go into the mansion proper this time and rescue the poor sod.
Although obviously, if you were paying attention, Egad may have his numbers a little bit wrong. Just a teeny tiny bit.
I swear to God, if like Mega Polterpop comes out, I'm just done.
That would be the biggest pain in the backside ever.
Oh, I love this cutscene.
Fun fact, this is actually the only door in the entirety of Treacherous Mansion that Luigi opens with the key.
Really?
All the other doors are open.
Oh, I do not like the look of that. Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Psych! That doesn't really do much for me, but I would imagine if you were much younger, say like 8, 9 or so, that would give you a bit of a jump.
Oh, definitely. I mean, also sort of, if you didn't realise kind of just the overwhelming stupidity of King Boo in general with things. It's just like, come on, you had the perfect opportunity to kind of attack Luigi just right there. He didn't even see you coming.
He is basically a cat playing with a mouse right now. He's toying with his food.
Although it's going to come back to bite him in the ass so badly.
Well, Boos are scary. Never said they were smart. You may be noticing all the empty portal rings in this here foyer. These will come into play later on. Keep them in mind for now.
You're going to have to start thinking with portals.
Oh yeah, much more so than in the previous mansion, Secret Mine.
Because there's kind of more than like 2 portals at a time.
What mansion is that on that portrait right at the beginning of this room? It looked like Disney World or something.
Oh, didn't you know there's like a special Disney Mansion DLC that's just waiting to come out?
Don't toy with me, alright? Because that sounds like the initial concept art for Epic Mickey and it still hurts.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the only games that actually makes me angry.
Damn, I don't think I've ever heard you get above jovial, honestly.
Yeah, it's like Epic Mickey, Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood,
Ugh.
Lost World.
Ugh.
Yeah. They're very few and far between, but when they do happen, they really do excite sort of a very, very, very foul mood.
Yeah, you'll have to post up Rich's shit list at some point. Obviously, we couldn't just go and rescue the Toad straight away. That'd be too easy. So, for the time being, we're going to go around each of the themed rooms of the mansion, which is something Treacherous Mansion does very well. It's not just big old dusty manor. You get Jungle Room, you get like Egyptian Room, there's Ice Room and Dark Ages Room. It's pretty cool, actually. Reminds me a little bit of the Crystal Maze, now that I think about it.
Ah, yes. Crystal Maze being the TV show.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been so long since I can't even remember whether I ever actually watched it.
I was about to give you a pop quiz on who the best host was.
But, fun fact, one of my teachers at school, although he was never actually my teacher, but kind of, he...
Well, was he or wasn't he your teacher? I'm getting mixed
He was one of the teachers at my school, and he helped me run my games club that I did.
Okay.
And he was actually on Crystal Maze at one point.
Okay, which type of task did he excel at? Was it mental, physical, what?
I would assume mental, because he was a science teacher.
Okay.
But, yeah, just there's a picture of him in it. It's hilarious.
I liked Ed Tudor Pole, myself. He was a very dashing Edwardian rogue, but the other fellow, the bald dude, was class as well. I think his name was Richard O. something, but I can't remember his last name.
Richard O'Brien?
That's the one.
Isn't he the guy who did Rocky Horror?
He may very well be, alongside Tim Curry of all people.
Yes.
It's one of my many shames that I've never watched that film. I've heard from well, Jim Sterling, among others, that it looks fantastic in Blu-ray because the colours just pop.
Yes, Rocky Horror is a very special thing to experience. Especially when you have it sort of... when you have an audience and sort of like everyone doing the time warp, it's just amazing.
These guys seem much tougher, or at least more intimidating, just busting out their sarcophagi.
I think it's very much just a case of more intimidating than actually tougher, because look, one of them just set themselves on fire.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was thinking, was that just a glitch? Did they run into it before I could start moving? But I think that just happens so you know what to do.
Maybe. I don't know, because I mean the thing is that I believe that in the last time that we met up with the mummies, we were able to set them alight. Or at least at one point where we did meet them. So, kind of, you are prepared to know that you can do that, but I think also just the fact that lots of flames, just general common sense, is just like cloth, fire.
Rags plus flames equals death to mummies. Okay, now we can walk back to the foyer and then quickly zip to the jungle zone if we need to. I know it's not a Sonic game, but I'm going to call it Jungle Zone. This one could be Sandopolis.
It's the ancient exhibit.
Sure.
And the other one's the jungle exhibit.
Sure.
Just stick exhibit on the end and it's probably accurate, because it's basically a museum.
How about mansions in your mansion, so you can ghost bust while you ghost bust? This is where the finale of this mission will take place, but we're going to need 2 toads to be able to activate this rather gothic contraption over here.
It's definitely incredibly gothic. I mean, the amount of gargoyles they've got on that thing, Jesus Christ.
Kind of reminds me of Trog from Sonic the Comic, actually.
Yeah, I never read that.
Maybe you could like bring in some ancient literature. I'm down for that. I'm down to clan with Heracles and all that good shit.
Well, gargoyles don't really come into Heracles. That's going... You're going into the Greeks there. You want to deal more medieval, because that's kind of when that's when Gothic architecture was normal, and then it had sort of its resurgence in, like, I think it's late 18th century.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I never said gargoyles were a part of Greek mythology, alright? You just jumped to conclusions there. Second of all, I don't need an excuse to bring up Greek mythology. It's my shit.
It's very true. Greek mythology is great. Although I have to say, when you've had to read every single Greek tragedy that exists, you get a little bit depressed after a while.
It's like, Jesus, what is there to feel sad about anymore?
How on earth is that still alive? It doesn't even seem to be kind of like possessed by a ghost. It just seems to be sort of a woolly mammoth existing.
I think it might be an animatronic, Richie.
I should bloomin' hope so.
Yeah. This is kind of an extension of, I think it was the Astral Observatory in the first Luigi's Mansion, where you basically blow up the moon.
It is indeed. Although I have to say, sort of, they really missed a trick with this particular diamond. Because it's just like, you make the star. What's the diamond you get? Not the star.
Oh, yeah. I actually forget where the star comes into play.
It is... You don't... It's like one of the last ones that you get, actually.
Ah, okay.
Which is ridiculous, because it's right in the middle.
Once again, just sticking money wherever. They thought this gold wouldn't be found, buried under all the ice, but oh, I can smell out valuables.
And also they thought the toad wouldn't be found either, because just stick it behind a nice block thing. Nobody will notice, it's not like ice is see-through or anything.
Yeah. Okay, next up is the Dark Ages exhibit. Now we're talking Blackadder and all that good shit.
Oh god, yes.
I like how your mind leads to, like, literature, mine leads to, like, I guess you could call it pop culture.
Well, I mean, the thing is that sort of... I think it's just... when you have to deal a lot with books, just it all kind of just ends up clicking.
Yeah.
And then I'm the weirdo Ingling who then sort of links in pop culture all the time. Films, games, just everything.
Learning ain't nothing to be ashamed of. Alright, a couple of hiders to take out. Don't worry, those suits of armour will not come to life and impede your process.
I mean, if they did, that would just be really, really dickish.
I've noticed I keep saying impede your process instead of the correct term, which is impede your progress. Although process, brain processes, you know, so I'm technically still right. Remember, the golden rule of these past two parts, the context doesn't matter. Victory is the only thing that matters.
Unless you're going by kind of other stuff, in which case, it's not the destination that matters, it's the journey. And all that sort of nonsense.
Okay, now we're just like full-on Resident Evil here.
Also Kingdom Hearts, because the original Kingdom Hearts had a puzzle like this.
Yeah,
in the Library of Hollow Bastion.
Hollow Bastion, yeah.
Also, I love that they've just got an Iron Maiden sitting there.
Why not? It's the Dark Ages, after all.
The slightly disappointing thing is there's not kind of any angels to, you know, kick into it. Whilst Moon River plays randomly.
Yeah. It is very important to realise that you can walk through portals while holding an item. Once you master that, you've basically solved the biggest puzzle of the mansion, which is taking items from one room to the other. Like, you need to get the bucket from the Dark Ages exhibit, fill it up with water from the jungle exhibit, and bring it here to the ancient exhibit to water a dried up plant and get the next diamond.
And the other thing is that you can't take items through doors, so you have to use the portals.
Aha.
Which I guess is kind of their way of saying, just by logic of elimination, it's just like, right, so I can't take this out of the room, therefore there's got to be a way that I've got to be able to move it, therefore must be able to get through the portal.
Sorry to do the terrible LP stereotype and quibble over grammar, but logic of elimination? That's so funny, because I quibbled over using the word process instead of progress, and yet you go ahead and use it. And we're boring.
Yeah. It's what this game does to you sometimes. It's just, even though it's got lots of interesting stuff going on, a lot of it does sometimes feel a little bit samey.
I think Treacherous Mansion more than makes up for it with the abundance of different tropes, though, because like we said, we've got jungle, we've got Egyptian, Dark Ages, ice, and plenty of ghosts to boot.
The picture painting thing stops them from getting fresh air. That's slightly terrifying.
Suspended animation, right?
I guess so.
Like King Boo, he knew what was going on all the time he was in that painting.
That is very, very, very true. I love that you just fired the toad into the wooden tree pole thing.
That's a good point. Is it real? All these plants seem real.
I mean, I have no idea what that is, because it looks like it's meant to be a tree, but it don't look quite like a tree.
Come on.
Right, let's take this to the ancient exhibit, light it on fire, and then take it to the Ice Age exhibit, because we'll need to melt the ice wall before we can get the second toad.
Indeed, because obviously fire melts ice. If anybody has been playing Pokemon for enough years, you should learn this point by now.
Thank you, Professor Oak, that was enlightening. I'm not sure how fast this runs out, but you may want to get there as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, the thing is that if this game was going by, you know, actual logic, then obviously you have the limited amount of time before the log is just kind of cremated.
Up you get, little buddy. Okay, a little bit too close there. Back off.
I love how Luigi's just like, yes, they're there, Toad, they're there. Just get off, please.
10-1. Egad didn't know there was a second toad in this place.
Well, we already know he didn't, because he was just like, just send a Toad Curator in, it'll be fine, just go grab him.
He didn't even mention it!
I know! He's not even paying attention anymore.
He's not paying them, period, mate.
I like how we've now got this the fun little pun of paying attention and paying wages.
That's the English language for you. Always a hoot. The cool thing about ghosts is, especially greenies, but I think all ghosts do it, when you capture a ghost, they'll take the time to basically try and razz you, which obviously leaves them open, so use that to your advantage to get combos going. Well, let's head back to the courtyard now.
I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as we would like it to be to get these toads back to Egad.
Never is, mate, never is.
It's like it's the rule of video games. It can never be that simple. Except for something like Sonic Boom, in which case, yes, it is that bad.
I thought I was doing something wrong here, because I was aiming directly at it, and I thought the cage was closed, so I was like running about in a panic, like, oh no, oh what's going on, oh I'll try the other one first, come over here. There you go, that one worked.
I think it's just the finickiness of the aiming. Like, it's just not that easy, and it's really stupid. Because you've got to be so on point that it's just like, ugh. And what's even worse is that you're going to have to do this twice.
Oh yeah, because, not to give anything away, but it's never going to be this easy. This Boo is automatic, so don't worry, you can't miss him.
Indeed, also Booper Trooper, aka Koopa Trooper.
Yes, thank you, Richie, that was the joke.
Although I have to say, sort of, when I first saw it, I was just like, Booper Trooper, oh, that's the ABBA song. Like, Super Trooper, like they're gonna find me, but I won't feel blue.
Really?
Yeah, that's where my brain went instead of Koopa Trooper.
Oh, whatever, man, I won't judge you for your musical tastes. This would be hard enough with the Boo teleporting everywhere and sending out spirit balls, but he's got hiders as well. This is just kind of obnoxious.
You mean sneakers, not hiders?
Oh yeah, the hiders are the blue ones, sorry.
Also, I'm very glad that, well, one Toad is being good and just sitting there and crying instead of getting in the way.
Yeah, just sit there and cry, Toad. Do your job.
Because it's like, when they're running around screaming, they just don't shut up. But when they just sit and cry, they're practically silent. It's great. It sounds really sadistic, because it's just like, yes, Toad, just please cry instead of running around screaming. It just makes my ears feel so much better.
Oh, just cry into this cup, I'm thirsty. Good job I got those dark light upgrades.
To be perfectly honest, the fact that you are very, 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 very close to getting the next Poltergust upgrade is a very good thing indeed, because you're going to need that extra sucking power.
Oh yeah, all the sucking power we can get. Really? You're going to be that petty? There's one health point left.
But at least he's not going to escape into another room and make you have to chase him to try and get that last health off.
Part of me misses that, part of me doesn't. The part of me that doesn't miss it is concerned with the Boos that had 300 health points.
Oh god, yeah. They were just horrible.
It's a good job you ran outside that silhouette, because I would not want to bring this thing back into existence with a Toad inside it. Let's just say there would be fungi paste everywhere.
Oh.
There's your mature Nintendo game.
Also, did you see the thing the other day about somebody at Nintendo, one of the directors, basically saying that Toads are genderless?
Yeah, I don't buy that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, it is slightly... It's a bit like... You've got... The fact that you've got Toadette is you've got very obviously gendered Toads.
Yeah, and also in Mario Kart, unless this takes place in a different canon, you know, one of the split Mario timelines, there is a sign that very clearly says something women of gaming. Not really sure what happened to that Toad there, don't really care. But it says women of gaming, and it has Birdo, which is just confusing. It has, I think, Peach or Daisy, and it has Toadette.
I think it has Rosalina.
Yeah, so suck it, Nintendo. Toadette is female, Toads are male unless otherwise stated.
Yeah. And also, they're not mushrooms.
Yeah, that's just a hat.
God knows what is under that hat, though.
Teleport high five, it's just hair, Richie. What, do you think it was going to be a dagger or something?
Well, yes, didn't you know that the Toads were just always trying to secretly kill Mario and Luigi? They just were waiting for their moment, and never got it.
Rest in peace. They're sleeper agents for Bowser, who knew?
Also, you know, kind of, the fact that they kind of high-fived going through,
Uh-huh.
surely that would be a very dangerous thing, because then your bodies could potentially end up being connected, or bits of bodies could flip over into each other's. That would be really bad, I think.
No, they could have been Jeff Goldblumed. I think it was the damage that did me in there.
Pretty much, I mean, like, half your health's quite a lot. I wonder how much shock and awe Agad will have at there being two Toads.
I would hope he underwent a little bit of character development, learned to start treating his employees nicely.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
I don't know whether that's sarcasm or not. How low is my self-esteem?
Minor details, just one extra Toad is just a minor detail.
That's just another mouth to feed, who gives a shit? Oh, is this gonna be it?
No, it's not.
Ah, so close. Well, at least it's not like 25 this time. Notice he's saying curators, plural now.
I should hope so. When you know that there's two, it'd just be really mean to just deny one of them their existence.
Wait till Luigi's Mansion 3, the Toads have formed a union. Better ethical treatment for Toads. Beft, I think that is. Okay guys, that will do it for today. Please join us next time for what might be the longest mission of Treacherous Mansion. We'll see you then.